Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'll be ranking every coaster at Busch Gardens Tampa in Tampa, Florida. I recently visited this park back in April, and I personally think it's the best park in Florida. I was impressed with their awesome collection of roller coasters and with the park overall. So without further ado, let's get into the list. Starting off the list, at number 10 we have Air Grover, the park's Z-Air kiddie coaster. This is a very typical kiddie coaster. It's a great ride for the little kids and an easy credit. Not much to say here. At the number 9 spot, we have Sand Serpent, the park's Mock Rides Wild Mouse coaster. This is a pretty typical Wild Mouse. It's pretty slow and uneventful, but it isn't painful compared to some of the other coasters of its type. Not much to say here either. At the number 8 spot, we have COBRA'S Curse, the park's Mock Ride Spinning coaster. This ride may be a family coaster, but it is a pretty fun ride because of its weirdness. It has a forward, backwards, and spinning section, which is quite interesting. It's a fun little ride that the whole family will enjoy, plus it has some pretty good theming. At the number 7 spot, we have Scorpion, the park's Schwarzkopf looping coaster. This is a pretty good ride. It packs in an intense vertical loop and some fun, forceful low-to-the-ground turns. This is an example of a good classic looping coaster. At the number 6 spot, we have Tigris, the park's premier ride Skyrocket 2. I've ridden a few of these Skyrocket 2s, and they are short but sweet rides. They pack in some solid launches, some good airtime moments, a great hang time moment, and they're all around intense rides. The only con with this is the trains that are cramped, and they have the lap bars and the comfort collars, which can be annoying and uncomfortable. But this is all around a good coaster with some good forces. At the number 5 spot, we have SHEIKRA, the park's B&M dive coaster. This was the first dive coaster in the US, and it's quite a good ride. It has 2 airtime-filled vertical drops, and is a pretty forceful ride. This ranks in the middle of the dive coasters I've ridden, being much better than Valraven, but a little bit worse than Griffon. This is still a great ride with some great drops. At the number 4 spot, we have KUMBA, the park's B&M sit-down looping coaster. This is a great multi-looper. It packs in 7 inversions and is pretty forceful. Unfortunately, I do find this ride a bit overrated, as I don't find it to be as intense as a lot of people claim, but it's still a great, iconic ride. At the number 3 spot, we have Cheetah Hunt, the park's Intamin Blitz coaster. This coaster usually is labeled as a family coaster, which I do sort of understand, but I found this ride much more than that. I was shocked with how fun this ride was. The ride admittedly has a fairly weak layout consisting of a lot of long meandering turns with the occasional airtime pop and an inversion, but this ride still blew me away with how enjoyable it was. This ride has 3 great airtime moments, that being the rise up into the figure 8, the first drop, and the ejector hill after the final launch. Plus, the inversion is definitely one of my favorite hang time moments out there. This ride is hard to describe why I like so much, but it was still a really big surprise for me, and I could definitely see why this would be one of someone's favorite coasters in the country. At the number 2 spot, we have MONTU, the park's B&M invert. This ride usually is ranked as the greatest B&M invert in the country. While I definitely don't agree with that assessment, this ride still is great. It isn't quite as forceful as some other inverts such as Alpengeist or Banshee, but this ride still has some great whippy moments and a great intense batwing. I still, after all this time, love these classic B&M inverts, and this is definitely no exception. And the number 1 coaster at Busch Gardens Tampa is, of course, Iron GWAZI, the park's new for 2020 RMC Hyper Hybrid coaster. This ride not only met my expectations, but managed to be my number 2 coaster overall, just under Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. This ride is absolutely incredible. That first drop is quite possibly my favorite first drop of all time, and that wave turn and Asian Camelback are also 2 of my favorite elements on any coaster. This truly is a must-ride for every enthusiast, and it's a reminder of why RMC is by far my favorite coaster manufacturer out there. Expect a review of this coaster soon. It's an incredible ride that I could easily understand why be someone's number 1 overall. And there you have it, my rankings of every coaster at Busch Gardens Tampa. This park is definitely one of my favorite parks in the country and should be high on everyone's bucket list, because it truly is an amazing park. That's all for now. Inverted Thrills, out.